Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on where you are. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to introduce yourselves here in the chat in Zoom. Would love to know who you're with and what you're looking for. I want to welcome you to our next Intuit and Figured webinar today. It's going to be all about how to design scalable agriculture CAS services. Quite a mouthful, but we're really excited for the content today. Really quick introduction on our team here. I'm Tim Mangini with Intuit, and I manage our partnerships here in the accountant channel. Joining me today, we have our Figure team. You see here, James Higgy, Director of Growth, and Mitch Parks, Account Executive. And we'll jump into the roadmap here. So roadmap for today, we're gonna dive into service design and show you how easy it is to assemble CAS services for your agriculture clients. This is just the next piece in our series of practical how-tos we've been covering on these webinars. We know how hard it can be to get started. So rather than tell you what to do, we want to show you how we can do it together. We'll show you a real-world example from one of our partners. And there's a huge range of services that you guys can look to deploy. But today we're going to focus on a specific use case, which is building a planning-based service, helping you become more proactive with your clients and looking ahead with confidence. So make sure you stay till the end. We've got a special offer to share with you that will roll out at the end of the webinar. And our goal today is not to sell you anything. It's really to forge a strong relationship with you around advisory and the farming space. We hope you leave with some practical concepts about how to assemble and, more importantly, how to monetize this CAS opportunity at scale. So let's get started. Quick introduction and talk about why QBO and Figured have come together and what it means for the agriculture accountants like you. So we all know about the CAS opportunity. We're not here to tell you something you already know. We've worked with accountants and farmers for over a decade, and we know that farmers need advisory now more than ever. There's immense pressure, whether it's interest rate, price increases, market volatility, climate impacts, the list can go on. And until now, this advisory and CAS opportunity has required a very lengthy and manual process, complex spreadsheets, and significant experience within the firm. And these services really have only been confined to the top 5 or 10% of your clients. So simply put, you guys don't have enough people or enough time to do everything that you and your farmers would like until now. So what we've seen again and again is spreadsheets simply are not the ag tool you need. This really is the issue in deploying CAS to more clients in less time. It's a highly specialized industry. Farmers know it, you know it, and we know it at Intuit. It presents some unique challenges, and experts like you need tools which are as specialized as you are. And simply put, Excel is not a specialized tool. That's why we partnered with Figured. We know QBO is the cloud foundation for your practice, and Figured is the only integrated ag solution with us. Together, we allow you to have specialized and high value outputs you and your farmers need right out of the box. Gives you a scalable solution in a way that Excel never could. It helps standardize your workflows, and the solution is designed for today, wherever you are on that CAS journey. So for today, we're going to show you how we worked with one of our partners from start to finish. Now that they have these services in place, they're seeing more and more of those existing clients shifting over to advisory services. They're seeing referrals by local banks and farm advisors, all in an effort to help farmers grow and succeed. So why now? First is revenue. Obviously, that's a big one. We know that Figured partners see a 327% increase in their billings, where their farmers move from just compliance work over to CAS and advisory. We all know that advisory is a very high revenue producer for firms. The next piece is around value. Firms are seeing a 260% increase in client value perception. So when you go from providing compliance and then shift to the CAS opportunity, your clients see you a little bit differently, and you become a trusted advisor for those clients. And then, of course, your people within the firm. We know there's over 80% of the group that's leaving accounting have a vast experience, usually over 6 years. And this is a solution which gives your people the work they want to do being involved with their clients, making a difference, and helping them grow and reach their goals. And then lastly is the clients also want this from you. From CPA.com, we've shared this stat before, almost 80% of the CAS leads for the firm are coming from your existing client base. So you don't have to go hunt for new clients. So to wrap this up, this is a solution that's built for the challenges you have today, using the people you already have and the customers you already have a relationship with.
Thanks, Tim. I think I've got a screen here that just speaks to the fact that this is something we've done for a long time. We do well. All of those pins that we're referring to on those maps, particularly as you're seeing in Canada, the United States, they're accounting firms, not so much farms, right? We see the power of this best activated through the firm. And building on what Tim was talking to, it's really important to note that this is a real world solution. This is in market at the moment. It can be actioned today. Today's webinar is not designed to be conceptual. We've been doing this for hundreds of firms for over a decade, and it's something you can take away and make use of today. Our extensive practical experience combined with a really robust network of partner firms and a dedicated team local to each region ensures that we're fully equipped to help you implement this solution seamlessly. You can rely on our expertise and resources to guide you through every step of the process, ensuring a successful adoption and, most importantly, execution. In the last webinar, we introduced this framework, the idea of prioritize, productize, and then communicate. Today, we're delving into two critical aspects of this framework, prioritize and productize. Firstly, prioritizing your starting point. This really begins with identifying your target clients. We're going to explore practical, tangible strategies to determine which clients will benefit the most from your expertise and advisory services. It's really important to recognize that you can't cater to everybody immediately. We'll help you identify the easy wins and those clients with the greatest need for your specialized service. We'll then take you through the idea of streamlining service offerings. It's really crucial to prioritize services in a way that simplifies both their assembly and delivery. We'll discuss how to create a structured plan that makes it easy to get started and ensures your services are both effective and manageable. Mitchell's going to take us through how to actually build our CAS service, and this is done via implementing a figured and QBO solution. We'll dive into the specifics of how you can establish a client advisory service today using the figured QBO tech stack. And as Tim mentioned before, the solution is designed to align with your current team, processes, and client base. Just to double down on this one more time, this is not designed to be purely conceptual. We'll conclude with achievable and actual next steps. Our discussion will be centered around providing you clear, practical, and actionable steps that you can implement immediately. Crucially, without the need to stand up a costly and complex transformation project. We all know what they can be like. Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah, thanks, James. And as many of you probably realize, you've got a vision of how CAS could transform your firm and those client relationships. It's that dream of streamlined processes, deeper insights, and even new revenue streams. But often that vision does feel distant, a bit like a future state that's months or even years away. And let's be honest, most CAS conversations are stuck in the future. They're full of what ifs and some days, leaving you with the same old problems today. We don't want you to start using another tool or solution that works on that false dream. We can help you with getting started today. This is about working with the people, processes, and clients you already have. We can integrate seamlessly into your existing practice using a productized solution. This means we can tackle it today without a massive overhaul of your existing practices. It's a solution designed for accountants, by accountants. It isn't something that you have to custom build from scratch. Your vision is achievable now. We're not talking about incremental improvements. It's actually about rethinking how you deliver services to your clients. It's about using a methodology that exists today to build a more efficient, profitable, and client-centric practice. Today is about showing you how easy it is to design and deliver something like this, an out-of-the-box solution in partnership with Figured. The next 20 minutes, you'll have a really clear picture of not just how to build this, but actually deliver it using Figured, a completely productized service model that you can actually deliver at scale. In each of these different packs, there's different outputs that your clients get as part of a productized package. We can map these service offerings back to the different client segments that already exist in your firm today. And this is something we've built in weeks with our partners across the globe, not months or years. And it's changing their business. As Tim said earlier, partners are seeing revenue growth and client growth across the board. The key to these services being scalable is it needs out-of-the-box functionality. Each of these tiers shouldn't be massively high touch or involve highly manual processes. We want your time to be spent in client meetings helping them with their business. The old way of doing CAS is holding you back. So now it's time to embrace the new way. Starting today, how can Figured and QuickBooks Online revolutionize your firm? Tim, do you want to take us through how we can prioritize those farmers we're working with today?
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. Love that visual. That's something we work really hard on at Intuit, and great partner with Figured to show us that. So prioritization, unlocking this is often the key for us to get started. When you're thinking about CAS, it can be very difficult to break it down into manageable chunks and knowing where to start. Obviously, you don't want to try to boil the ocean or get buried in one large project that it starts to take away from the core business. So start by prioritizing, identifying who your CAS customers are and the ones that really want to hear from you. So James, why don't you take us through and talk about this prioritizing and the services you can deliver?
Thanks, Tim. Really like this slide, guys. It's incredibly impactful, and I think if you overlay it to your own business, it might look really familiar. When you're looking to scale CAS, the starting client segmentation, in our experience, and again, I refer back to the work we've been doing over a number of years, might look a bit like this. You may have your top 10% of clients that you're doing some proactive advisory for. It may have some structure to it, i.e. quarterly, monthly. It's probably a white glove service, but it's incredibly hard to scale. But there's a client base there who's willing to invest in that service. Then you've got those that you'd advise through for when a situational catalyst occurs, succession planning, major purchase, good or bad, very reactionary. Then we've got the ever widening middle band. This is a cohort of clients who you think need and would really value CAS, but you're currently not providing it to them in a structured way. And that's potentially because you have the time, the resources, the technology to allow for that. Potentially the technology could solve those first two problems. Often this existing relationship will be annualized and based around tax. These are typically your excellent in-hand farming operations who have given the chance could apply some of the insight that CAS offers to the business. Those last two areas I've just spoken to, that's what we call the middle majority. That's where we can really invest behind you and your clients. They form such a big portion of your customer base. There's lots of opportunity to be doing more with them. The question to everyone on the call is, could technology allow us to take some of that white glove advisory from the proactive at the top and layer it to this cohort in an efficient way? And finally, because there's always outliers and there's always those clients who aren't going to step towards the opportunity, whether they're in the life cycle of their business, but there'll be those who aren't potentially right for Figured and QBO and the CAS opportunities. What we're trying to achieve is we're trying to move from a pyramid that looks like this to something a little bit more like this. Now, as I move to the next slide, we're going to start to see how we can better identify the opportunities across each of these client groups. Thanks, Mitch. All right, there's a couple of buckets here that we can segment clients into now. And the great thing about this, and you probably already know who fits into each of these segments, but if not, these are things you can easily identify in your client data. I encourage you to do this, even on a piece of paper now, because Mitch is going to show you practical examples of services and outputs we can introduce into each of these. So let's think about the growth opportunities in your portfolio. Who's looking to expand their operation? Who's looking to get more debt into their business for growth? These may often be younger farmers and new entrants, not always, or potentially those farmers in their life cycle of the business who are looking for succession plan or exit planning. These are opportunities for growth within a business or adjustment within a business that could lead to growth. Then we look at who's under pressure. Who are those people who really need you? Could you readily, at the moment, with your current technology stack, go through and identify the clients that are going to need you now or in 12 months' time? If not, why not? Is that because of technology? Is that because of the flow of information? How do we start to build out these clients? What are those clients that might be carrying a lot of debt? Again, what are the opportunities that come with figured technology and overlaying what forecasted input prices, commodity prices, and potentially interest rates could be doing to a business? Then we've got those in terms of efficiency, and this is such a huge opportunity in this cohort. Who are you providing CAS for at the moment that you'd like to make more efficient? Are they actually stepping into the opportunity you're presenting to them? Is it very much a white glove service, but it's something you could take down to a lower cohort? Have a think. And what are the current limitations that are stopping you from doing that? If it's time and resources, again, stepping towards the technology opportunity could solve that. What clients did you help with budgeting and planning for last year, even if it was a one-off opportunity in terms of succession planning or change of land use? Is there some way we can actually put that in a structured environment across that client going forward or for more clients? And then there's those who you're having to double handle a lot of information for. Have you still got a client that's using a desktop solution and they're using desktop solution for them, they're using spreadsheets? Could we potentially marry up that information, provide more time for you and the client for investing on the business to make correct decisions? And then finally, who's asking you for those last minute plans and budgets required by the bank or required by a sudden scenario? How can we actually put the systems in place without the client having to do any more, or potentially yourself over-resourcing, but it gives us the easy access to that information in real time? Have a think about your clients, and then Mitchell's going to take us through shortly what the actual outputs and scenarios could look like for each of those as far as Figured presents it. Thank you, Mitch. Before I pass through to Mitchell, the last part of this I'd like to think around is, again, that prioritization. Prioritizing the services as well as those clients is incredibly important. A product like Figured, there's stacks of features and outputs that are available out of the box. They're fully formed. While that's fantastic, it also creates the opportunity for you to do too much for one client or too many services initially. So we need to be incredibly deliberate in terms of identifying the clients and the services we want to introduce. This means we need a resource for excellence. So start with figuring out what's right for you. For many firms, as is potentially likely true for many of you on the call, the aim is to get farmers engaging on the now and the future. The ability to make decisions that are at the very least real time is crucial, and leveraging the above to make proactive decisions is optimal. Relying on unreconciled information that is months old is no longer sustainable, and over the next 24 months, with changes in technology and what's available, no longer defensible. So with that in mind, let's put some meat on the bones of the discussion, explore tangible examples. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Mitchell.
Yeah, thanks, James. So next up is productize. And this is the piece that we're really excited about today, and I think why most of you are here. This is the meat of the webinar. And really what we've heard is our partners everywhere understand the opportunity, but they really need help on seeing the how. How do we actually assemble these services? Our partnership is about helping you do this, stepping into it, and unlocking this opportunity together. So Mitch here is going to go in and show you what those outputs are, what you can actually deliver, what conversations you can have with your farming clients, and then how to assemble these services. So I'll hand over to Mitch.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. And I guess let's face it as well. The old way of providing value-added agri accounting services is holding you back. Customizing every single process for every single client, it's time consuming, it's inefficient, and frankly, it's actually just not scalable. Figured's productized solutions are specifically designed to address the unique challenges of the agri accounting practice. These aren't just theoretical tools. They're real. They're actionable solutions that actually deliver tangible results. Imagine actually having a streamlined process for completing a three-way forecast. No more reinventing an old spreadsheet for each client. By standardizing your three-way forecasting expertise into a specific service offering, there can be efficiency gains across your whole practice. More time for that high-value advisory work and less time bogged down in the manual tasks. And efficiency isn't just about saving time. You're working faster, but you're also working smarter. The result, it's improved accuracy, it's reduced errors, it's happier clients who get the insights they need, but actually when they need them. Utilizing something like the Farm Summary Report isn't just using another product feature. It's a powerful tool that can be used across the practice that empowers your entire team. The result is a more collaborative, data-driven practice that that's ready to tackle the challenges of the modern agribusiness landscape. This is actually the power of productization. It's about working smarter, not harder. It's about delivering exceptional value to your clients while freeing up your practice to grow as well. The benefits of these productized solutions aren't just limited to your practice. They directly translate to a more valuable and relevant experience for your farming clients. With Figured and your scaled service packages, you're not just offering another service. You're offering solutions that farmers actually want and need. Take the example of quarterly reviews and reforecasting. We can give our farmers access to relevant business insights tailored to their own financial data and production information. The result? Stronger engagement, better decision-making, and a deeper understanding of their own financial position. By utilizing the production and financial data already available, you're not just crunching numbers. You're providing a tool that helps farmers actually optimize their business. It's creating a true partnership between yourselves and their own business. The final result also isn't just a one-time win. It's a gateway to additional services. It then opens up that opportunity for increased revenue for your practice and a broader range of value-add offerings for your clients utilizing the specific services that you have designed. By leveraging Figured's productized solutions, you're actually just making life easier for yourself. You're also empowering your farmers to succeed. We can quickly look at what some of these outputs look like now as well. So let's take a look at a 5-year scenario and go just a little bit deeper. Now more than ever, farmers are needing to make decisions that are going to have a long-term impact on their business. Whether it be new legislation, changes in the business, opening up to more equity, these are the critical decisions that you need to actually be able to support and advise them on. Using the scenario tool, we can just model out a status quo over the next 5 years. How does my farm look if I continue to make the same decisions and the same assumptions year to year? With that now built out, we can copy this baseline and add in some larger assumptions. Can I actually comfortably retire in the next 5 years and know that the next generation are going to be free from financial burden? Would it be a smarter decision to continue leasing the neighbouring property, or is it more economical to purchase it? When we start to pull together that live production of financial data already on hand, it's going to create relevance and meaning for their farmers. Every now and then you'll be able to present a piece of information about what might be changing in the market or what's changing on farm. The reality is your farmers are going to come back to you and say, well, my farm's a little different. I do this, I do that. Instead, you're actually going to be able to make it relevant for them. Use their data, use their information that you've already got. We can also be using this tool across the practice. It isn't going to be used by one internal expert. It's actually giving everyone else in the firm the opportunity to learn more, develop their assumptions, and become experts as well. Let's quickly look at some farm level summary reporting. In this case, I want to review my crop season as it stands today. Again, because I've been capturing those financial records from QuickBooks Online, I'm able to run a report in Figured with the production data thus far and make an informed decision or recommendation that's based on that live information. Instead of guessing or coming up with rough estimate based on what was scribbled down on the back of a notepad, we can look at what's actually been spent so far growing this year's crop. We do have the financials to back it up. By then making this information relevant by reporting on a per acre or a per bushel or a per field level, we're making it relevant to the farmers, but we're also standardizing that output across your practice. It makes the information comparable. It means no matter who's curating the report, you know you're actually going to be able to compare and contrast these outputs across your teams. It gives you the chance to foster more collaboration and a better understanding of different farming businesses throughout your firm. We can add more value to your existing engagements while growing that internal knowledge base. And we also appreciate that a lot of your clients need to be making decisions now that are going to have a shorter term impact on the day-to-day farming business. In the planning grid, we can create a full top-down plan and allocate specific income and expenditure to different profit centers of the business. This is actually about creating something that is actionable for your farmers today. It's also a tool that can be used to make your clients take ownership and accountability of the decisions they make on farm over, say, the next 1 month, next 6 months, next 12 months. This isn't set and forget either. We can reforecast, take a snapshot. It's not like that classic budget that used to get written down and then put in the bottom drawer of the farm office and forgotten about until next year, or when the bank comes knocking and saying, where's a budget, showing how you're going to be able to mitigate these upcoming changes in the year ahead. This is live, and we can always tailor and adjust based on what is actually reflecting reality. We all know that problems can come out of the blue, whether it be a weather event, major repair bill. Everyone in your team has the ability to reforecast and analyze the impact this would have for your farmers. From there, let's have that conversation with the client and give them the confidence to keep moving forward, knowing that they actually do have a real plan and a team behind them that's making sure it happens. So while those are just a few key examples, there's so much more as well. We have slides like the one we just showed you for almost every feature in the Figured platform, detailing what the output is, why it's important, and the type of conversation it enables you to have with your farming clients. Again, the point here is that you have specific outputs that can be delivered out of the box with Figured and QuickBooks Online. They're right at your fingertips. Then, as you know, farming isn't a 9-to-5 job. Neither is agri accounting. That's why Figured is designed to support you and your clients throughout the entire year. Throughout the first quarter, you have a streamlined solution that helps you efficiently gather client information, reducing back and forth and ensuring accurate filings. Knowing that everyone is utilizing the same live data and information that allows you to complete existing workflows in a timely manner. Moving into that second quarter, we're analyzing the first quarter results with clients, setting the stage for proactive decision-making as they head into that critical time of on-farm decision-making. With access to real-time data, you can offer clients mid-year reviews, address concerns and adjust strategies before financial year end, and offer any insight on market changes since your last interaction. Finally, heading into Q4, the streamlined reporting, in-season reconciling, and information gathering makes this actually a less stressful time for yourself, but also less burdensome for your farmers when they're ready to enter one of the busiest times of year on farm. What we're doing is actually developing a rhythm that aligns with your clients' needs, fostering a year-round relationship built on trust, insights, and proactive support. Utilizing an out-of-the-box solution with Figured and QuickBooks Online empowers you to be more than just an accountant. You become a trusted advisor who's there every step of the way. Now, you might remember this slide. When we take those future-facing services and a particular cadence of engagement, we very quickly get to what we think productized, scalable agri-CAS looks like, the end game and the vision. And this approach is how Figured partners establish high-value services in a seriously short period of time that can be delivered by their whole team. They come out of the box. At each of these different service levels, there's different items and outputs that your clients get as a productized package. Each of these packages then map back to those different client segments that you've identified, and then further into each of those box tools. For example, we can standardize a 12-month budget across your agri clients and assemble a series of relevant outputs from Figured that can be used to grow their business and then move them along those tiers of services. And of course, this means you can focus on value-based pricing. Just because it takes less time to produce does not make it less valuable. Your farmers are practical people. When they see an output, how a discussion about that can impact their bottom line or their overall yield for the season ahead, they're not even going to hesitate when it's obviously a smart business decision. And something I also want to note, this is not going to be something that the most senior people in your team will do. When it's productized, it's something that can actually extend across the entire farming team in your firm. It's a way to build more capability and more power within your own internal network to provide these services and opinions that add value to your clients and their businesses. On that, Tim, do you want to take us through what some of the next steps can look like?
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. Awesome job. That's very eye-opening, a lot of what Mitch covered there. So in terms of what's next, we want to make sure that we take what we've covered today and give you tangible next steps. So we're going to try to put a poll up here on the next one. And the question here is, what can we help you with next? So we can do a demo. As Mitch said, there's a lot more features that we can help you get familiar with. There's obviously a way for us to create a demo where you guys can get your hands on the product for a couple of weeks and certainly give you a more detailed look at the product itself. There's no obligation. We really just want you to dive into this. Obviously, we can chat with you guys as well. Like we said, this is something we work on with our partners around the world, and we'd love to talk to you, answer any questions, and more importantly, help you assemble these services like we talked about today. And then lastly, we're going to create a how-to guide. So all that we covered today and much more, we want to make sure we prepare you to have these advisory conversations with your farmers. So we're going to take the content from today, put it into a how-to guide, and we'd like to send you a copy of that. Just let us know and we'll get that over to you. We'll give you a second to make sure we get that done.
Some couple more moments.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. I think we can close it off there, Tim.
All right, awesome. So our next webinar is going to be on August the 20th. It's going to be a deeper dive on how to communicate with your customers, how to tell them about these services you have, the ways that you can help them, and then make the most impact on their business. We help a lot of our partners with marketing in various aspects, whether that's putting plans together, hosting events, or co-funding marketing programs. So we'll get into all that and give you some next steps. And then we'll roll out a unique offer to help fund some of your marketing activity as well. So if you scan the QR code here on the screen, you can register for the next webinar. And then I know we mentioned a special offer, so we'll get to that on the next slide here in a second.